Have you ever reached a goal and you just felt empty afterwards? Well, if so, we're going to talk about that today, and I'm going to break it down to you with some self-analysis that I have been doing over the last couple of weeks. Hey, Jason Cheney here. If you don't know me, I've been traveling throughout the last 2 years in Africa in the southern region. I have now gotten my permanent residency here in Zambia, so I finally settled down. And most importantly, I've been talking to you about success, what it is, and how to get it in the 3 areas of life that I focus on, which are happiness, health, and wealth. And so let's go ahead and dig into today's video. And so, I really want to talk to you about the danger of when you reach your goal. So many people talk to you about how hard it is reaching your goal, but they don't talk to you about what's the step after you reach it. Most of us believe in this fairy tale, like this Disneyland dream that we've been sold since kids. Uh, Everything's going to be happy. It's going to be blissful. It's going to be rainbows, butterflies, and all of these things. But it's actually not the truth. And if you talk to most people who have reached goals in their lives, they'll tell you right after reaching that goal, they probably started going downhill and hit an all-time low after reaching that all-time high. And I was trying to figure this out, like why? Why is it that you reach your goal and then you just go into like a depressed state? It's like you just become lost. You don't know what to do next. And it was starting to bother me because I was starting to do it. And I've been trying to figure this out for the last 3 weeks. I realized I was getting depressed. And being depressed isn't a bad thing. Let me just say this. Um, we've only been taught one image or sold one image of what depression looks like. And it's a whole wide range of steps. There are some healthier depression moments and there are some very, very harmful depression moments. And so don't just think when you hear the word depression or if you're feeling that, you got to be afraid to say it. It doesn't mean you have to be at that bottom level. For some reason, and I don't know if this is just an American thing, the way they portray some of the negative attributes of the mental health spectrum, they only show you the severity of it. And they don't show you, like, hey, there's lighter cases. Like, everybody doesn't have to be at this level. And I think that's one of the things that is making a lot of, well, I'm just going to speak from a Black American perspective, a lot of Black Americans, to where we're just now really starting to dive deep into our mental health and acknowledge some of the things that we're going through. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've been sold this image that mental health is the worst of the worst. You need to be locked up in an asylum. That's not true. That is not true, and is very far fetched from the truth. So you wonder what I'm drinking? I'm drinking some ginger honey tea right here. It's delicious. They sell it in like a pulverized form here at the health food store that I go to, and it's delicious. You don't need to add anything to it. You just pour it with the little sachet in there, add your hot water, stir it, and you just drink it. It's really good. And so, to let you know, like, I've been working on my mental health because, in case you're new to the channel, I've been working on my mental health for, oh man, probably about a good 15 to 16 years now. Because my background coming from the military, going to war, I was in the Iraq War, which was, it's crazy. I think, what is that? Almost over, almost over 20 years ago, and it still feel like tomorrow. That is wow. It's crazy that much time has surpassed since that war. I get now why some people are so displaced from it and be asking some of the weirdest questions to me. But so with that, I've been focusing on my mental health a lot, and I have to focus on it a lot. I know my mental health is at the forefront of my happiness. And so this is why I'm kind of grateful for these experiences now. Like, when you hear people reach certain milestones of success in their life, they're just like, man, I wish I would have been open about it from the get go and let people know what I was going through and journal going through it openly. And that's how I felt when I first went through my weight loss or weight release, as I like to call it, journey. Like, so many people see the end game, but they didn't see that 600 plus pound person, struggling, making it through, then getting that mental fortitude, then getting that the desire to that burning desire to become healthier. And so I do. I used to regret that I didn't journal that. And so, like with my mental health now, after my wife passing away 2 years ago, it spiraled. I'm not gonna say out of control, but it dropped a lot. It dipped a lot, and rightfully so. Like if you're losing someone who you love, someone you care about, you're gonna expect some very very deep lows. There's been some highs along the way, but it's been interesting being able to go through this journey as the person I am now. Someone who does self analysis on a regular basis, who does self reflection. And I'm going to also explain in this video what self reflection really is. Because a lot of things when it comes to mental health, if you read the definitions are completely inaccurate. And a lot of mental health has not evolved. And that's one of the reasons that I want to start, that I'm doing these videos and being open and honest as I'm going through my mental health journey as the person I am now. And so the reason why I want to talk about why people don't, that was just a little background. The reason why I wanted to talk about why people, all of these self-help gurus and stuff, they're telling us, the pains of reaching your goal. However, some of us are reaching our goals. So someone needs to talk about what are the things that you should be looking for after you reach a goal. Because a lot of it in our head, we paint this goal is going to be the thing that changed my life. This is going to be the thing that brings me eternal happiness. This is going to be my heaven on earth. And the truth is, it's just a stepping stone. It's not your heaven on earth at all. In all honesty, probably after a week, it don't even mean that much to you because now you're finding more things wrong than you were happy about the goal and where you are now in life. And it's funny because it triggered itself in me through getting my permanent residency. So I haven't been stable for 2 years now, since 2022 when my wife Cece passed away unexpectedly in Colombia. I've just been moving around, and hopping from country. I went back to Colombia, then I went back to America to fly to South Africa. Then from South Africa, I went to Botswana. Then from Botswana, I went to Zambia, and I finally got a permanent residency here in Zambia. However, I got to a point where it was happy. I was excited. Like I accomplished the beast. I did what felt impossible, getting into Africa without having to go through Ghana or Kenya, the easy routes or the routes where there's a lot of Americans coming through. And I was just excited and happy with myself. And then I went and got my NRC, which is my national registration card. So I'm officially, I don't have to use my American passport for anything. Like I can literally use a Zambian identification, and such great milestones. However, the last few weeks I've been in a depressed state where I just been bored. And then and I can understand where you probably coming from. Like, why are you bored? You should be celebrating. But let's be honest. Any responsible adult out there, how much celebration do you really do after you reach a goal? We may go out and meet some people, hang out with some people, but then we go back into isolation mode, actually. And this is the thing that I don't think anyone is talking about. When we're going through this isolation mode, now it's time to go into self-reflection. And this is very crucial because we're goal-oriented people. Like these human bodies are goal-oriented. They're driven to be bigger, faster, stronger. And it all doesn't mean on a physical level. It can mean in different attributes of success, health, relationship, all of those different things. And so when these human bodies does not have a burning desire goal to achieve, it goes into a depressive state. And what I mean by that depressive state means it goes into inactivity. Like if you ever found yourself depressed, you're not moving much. You're sitting somewhere. You may be comfortable. Now that's the key. You may actually be comfortable, but because you're not having a desire to move, you're not motivated. That may be some self-talk words that you're using when you're in this depressive state. You may not feel motivated to do anything outside of the monotonous tasks that you need to do. So you may still go to work, cook, do things like that, but you're not exerting any energy into anything extra. And in fact, you may feel like you have less energy than you had before. And I'm telling you this because this is how I've been feeling the last couple of weeks. And as I was self-reflecting, psychoanalyzing myself, and I just kept forming these mental checkpoints of like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Because one of the things that I've started doing, and I've learned this from Thinking Grow Rich, is change my perception. So I have different personality types and different ways that I bring those personality types out to look at the same situation, but in a different perspective. One may be from a more loving perspective, one may be from a more logical perspective, one may be more from a religious based perspective, or a scientific based perspective, or even just a spiritual wholeness perspective. And so that's what I mean by that. And if you're someone who naturally does that, absolutely wonderful. However, if you're not someone who naturally goes into that type of analytical breakdown, especially with your own internal self, don't try to force it. I'm going to give you a way that can actually help you do it. And it's actually using the depressive state, but you're just trying to write down, catch moments while you're in it. And so it's something that works really, really well. And so, and so, as I started catching myself having these feelings, and by self-reflecting, I realized I don't have another goal to reach. And a lot of us may feel like we have goals. However, you don't have a goal until it's a burning desire. And what I mean by burning desire, you are focused and you're researching and you're thinking about that goal every single day. Like you're going to sleep dreaming about it. That's when your goal is a burning desire. And that's when the physical, the human body is actually trying to figure out exactly what it needs to do to reach that goal. And it's a beautiful thing because that's when you start seeing things just come your way. That's what you see when a lot of people are like, oh, this was just attracted to me. It was the law of synchronicity or it was the law of attraction came into me. It was because you've now put your body, this human vessel, into a burning desire state. It has to accomplish that goal. And the only thing you have to do is just keep your focus on it. But sometimes after we've reached a big goal, how do we find the next appropriate goal to turn into our burning desire? And that answer is self-reflection. However, self-reflection is way deeper than even writing stuff down or just talking to yourself. It's actually being able to do a two-step process. The first step of that process is you're recalling a memory because you've been how it works. When we made our first original goal, our burning desire, there was always little sub goals in there. However, until we spiritually harmonize with that goal, we'll understand how to energetically put it in the right order. Like most people think, oh, if I want to start a business, I got to get money. I need all of this money. It's not what most people need because that's not the spiritual order of it. It's not the harmony of creating a really big business. And this is someone who was starting to do that through digital marketing before my wife passed away. Hold on one second, let me take a sip. Also, you're going to be seeing as I'm continually working on this process, I'm going to be upgrading my house and things like that because I'm just go ahead and go into it. I know I was talking about the harmonizing stuff, but let me put it on the back burner. Let me just give you a prime example of how the depressive state just stopped you from being active to doing things. So after I got my residency, I got my NRC, I moved into my new house. And this place is, as far as space-wise, is bigger. I have a nice open living room, patio, not patio, but a little, what do you call that thing? Porch. Man, I have a porch area out here where I can put some outdoor furniture to read and work outside and things like that. And then I have a second room in the back that is just empty. I don't have a bed or anything for that. And I said I was going to turn it into my home office. However, I've been in here 2 months. I haven't bought anything yet. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to shut that dark hallway. I haven't done anything. I haven't bought any piece of furniture yet. Only the stuff I have. And I realized I'm living like I'm living out of a suitcase still. Meaning I'm still living as that person who doesn't have roots. That person as will probably lead the country in 90 days. And that's when I started realizing how deep the inactivity can actually be. It can even stop you from, doing the one thing that you wanted to do most, which was settle down. And the second part of settling down in the country is furnishing a home. It's funny laughing on it and thinking about it now. But when you're going through the state, it's not that funny. So please bear with me. And like, this is the beautiful side of it. Like, if you take anything from my video, especially when I'm going into these deep psychoanalytical breakdowns of my personal life, on the other side of it, once you start getting out of that inactive state into action, it becomes fun. You start laughing at the decisions and the things you were doing. You're just like, oh man, I was just crazy. Like, and that's okay. And that's the beautiful thing about it. So don't beat yourself up if you're in a moment of depression right now. I wish more doctors would have told me that instead of trying to give me pills when I was still going to the VA hospital in America. And so let's get back to reflection. So remember, I tell you the first part of self-reflection is recalling a memory. Now the memory is going to always be somewhere around where you were making the goal you just reached. You probably was throwing out having different feelings around different things that you wanted to do in your life. And once you recall that right memory, it's going to be vivid. It's going to be very vivid. You're going to remember it almost from a word by word basis or importance basis, because you're going to start feeling, and this is the key to it, because when you're recalling the memory the correct way, what I mean by correct way is you're focusing on the goal that you achieved, and then you start thinking around that goal. And then as you're branching out, it's a weird way because no, I don't think a lot of people teach it this way. But if you start focusing on recalling the memory of the goal that you actually just achieved, the most recent goal, because you're closer to that energetic state than any other state. As you're branching off and you're having other sudden memories pop off, you will actually start getting to the one that really resonates the most with you. And for me, mine is to start developing little tiny homes. I want to just start doing that. I've been wanting to be a real estate developer for a little bit over 8 years now. And now I actually have the opportunity, and it's at the price point that I can do it. Starting out as a true small business without needing millions and millions of dollars. And so that's a beautiful thing about it. And when I reached that, I started feeling myself having more energy because my body was starting to reach that burning desire. And it's funny because I understand more and more, like you listen to people like Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, and all of them, or Mel Robbins, even Damon John, he talks a lot about it. Your burning desire. Your burning desires are already within us, or within you. And so as you just recall them, you'll get back into that energetic state really, really fast. Because I don't think anybody really explains that once you reach the peak, you reach that goal, the only other place to go is like a roller coaster. You did all of that going up, going up, going up, and then you hit the peak where you get the best view of the theme park. The air is just blowing in your face. And then it just slowly and then just shoots down. And that's how any goal is when we're achieving it. Once we achieve it, we need to start focusing on what is the next goal we need to make. Yes, it's cool to celebrate. It's fun to celebrate. However, the more you celebrate, the more energy you put into the celebration. It's just making that incline steeper, 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 steeper. Just like you adding some extra inches on there as my hand goes down and it's just shooting down even faster because it's just building up more momentum for when you start to plunge down. And I feel if you're actually making your goal, you see yourself reaching it or you've reached it, and then you start slowing, you're going to start slowing down, but then you go right back, like, okay, let me try this next goal. Let me try this next goal. And just make it more peaks. And I think that way is a lot better or a lot healthier, maybe. Because mental health, I personally feel mental health has been, for lack of a better word, has been overlooked. It has been overlooked at what it really is at the core. It has been stigmatized from Hollywood. I believe movies and things like that have now made fun of mental health or bash mental health to make only certain, very, very horrible characteristics or displayed as mental health, which has made people fearful to actually dwell deep into their mental health, to which is detrimental to society. Because if you truly understand the definition of psychology, it is the study of self. Nobody can study yourself more than you. No one can study yourself better than you. And I feel like I'm a prime example of it because I quit focusing, worrying on why are other people messed up? Why are these people not getting where they want to be in life? I started putting all that energy and focus on me, myself. And I've been having all of these mental health breakthroughs and reaching new hurdles and reaching new guidelines and having a better understanding of the overall picture of mental health. Because as I'm seeing, okay, I'm better here. I'm better here. Okay, I can still use a lot of improvement here. Let me focus here a little. And becoming a better human being. like, a lot of us think we're good people, but a lot of us are not good people. A lot of us hide behind the guise or the identification of certain religious beliefs, gender beliefs, uh, just cultural traditional beliefs. Some of us are hiding behind the identification of the belief that others have in us, and we're not putting in the work in ourselves. And I know for sure that I was one of those people back in the day. And I remember when I finally realized I was over 600 plus pounds. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed, yo. I'm like, how the hell did I go from the war, jumping out of Humvees, to I need help from my wife to tie my shoes? I was embarrassed and disgusted in myself. And it took me to get a burning desire of wanting to live life. And it's funny because that burning desire got me to where I am now. And it's that burning desire that has me still focused on keep being a better person, keep focusing more on psychology, keep understanding who I am, keep studying myself. And like I know, man, it's hot in here. It is hot today in Zambia. I got the fan on, but it is hot. And it's funny because I understand a lot of people don't have the hours in the day like I do. Like I'm a special case in that situation. But it doesn't take a lot to actually start getting into a self-reflective state. And remember, I told you earlier in the video, I was going to share with you a way how to do it without going into all the psychoanalysis, recalling specific events and things like that. And the easiest and the best way that I think it is to do it is listen to music. Sit back, relax, lay in bed. You got to get into a comfortable position. Meaning you can just, if you just sit in that recliner and you just melt in there, then you look up maybe like an hour, 2 hours past. You need to get that type of comfortable. So you don't have to be all erect. You don't have to be in legs folded cross or Buddhist pose. Don't do all of that. That is for advanced people who are doing things. And usually they're doing all those things because it's getting them into a deeper flow state. When you're first starting out, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. It's just the only thing you're going to be thinking about is how painful it is and how much longer you have to do this before you hit Zen. And you're never going to hit Zen because you're never getting comfortable. And so just get in a comfortable place. If it's laying down, sitting up, sitting in a chair, just get comfortable. Even if it's just sitting outside in nature. But you need to be comfortable. And once you get in that comfortable space, listen to some music on repeat that brings an emotion out of it. It can be sadness, happy, somber. It can recall a memory of someone you love. It can recall a place that you used to go to. But just listen to that one song on repeat. Now you're going to listen to it, and probably in the beginning you're going to be singing with it, going with it. But after a while, even though you love that song, it's going to become a little annoying. Now, this is the key. Let it, once you get to that annoying spot with it, keep listening. Because now, if your body's comfortable, you don't want to get up. And so, because you don't want to get up, your body's not comfortable. Your mind is just going to drift off because now it's familiar with this wavelength that's going on. It knows the songs already, so you don't have to think about it. And this is a way to get away from the conscious mind. And so, as you drift off, you're going to start seeing and recalling images in your head. This is the best way to recall memories because because your physical body and your conscious mind is both relaxed. You're going to be able to recall the images and you're going to be able to feel the emotional state you're in as you were in that memory. And then you start feeling them, feeling them, feeling them. And then if you reach one that really makes you feel happy or enthusiastic, you keep replaying that memory over and over again. And the way you keep playing it over and over again, you now this is where you use your willpower. You're going to focus your willpower to only think about one spectrum of that memory. So let's say like you took your little sister out somewhere for her birthday and you made her happy. Focus on the place that you took her out to. Because you keep focusing on that place, it's going to start going through that memory. And the memory is going to get deeper, 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 and you're going to keep being in it. Now, it's not the memory itself that matters, it's the emotional state. As you can feel the energy that you're in. Remember, emotions is energy in motion. So that's why I'm saying emotional state. The body operates in frequencies, but there's states. There's actually states to them. Like an 80.1 is not an 80.2. Those are on two different levels. So your emotion, once you get into that state that you're in, you're tuned into that frequency. And especially if it's a happy frequency, it's going to actually start making you think at a frequency of that level. So you're going to be bringing happy thoughts. And this is where your ego steps into play. And this is why I'm going to have to write a book about it or something because the ego is just misdiagnosed. The ego is not a bad thing. I don't believe the people who still even preach ego is the enemy or ego is bad. I don't believe they're saying it from a bad place. I think we're still using outdated information and we're not using some of the newest information of not only the physical body, but the quantum physics and spirituality itself. And we're not combining those three to understand what the state of the ego really is. It's the energy generator observatory. It observes emotional states. And so when your ego is observing an emotional state of happiness, it's now going out looking for new happy events that will even give you that same state or higher. And this is the beautiful thing because then you're going to start seeing pictures of you. You're going to be recalling memories that are not even your memory, but they're from the ether. And you're going to be seeing pictures of you doing things that are going to make you immensely happy. And this is how I realized and came back to that. I want to be a real estate developer. I want to develop tiny homes. I want to become a billionaire of developing countries. That is something I want to do. I want my legacy when I choose to leave this physical plane that I provided houses for millions and millions and millions of people and affordable housing to where then they can go and reach their goals, reach their dreams, not using, the unethical real estate building procedures and development procedures to try to just steal and steal and steal and take from people. I want to show people there are ethical people out here, there are people with morals, and also show people that you can become just as rich doing the right thing, and you don't have to ever put your morals or ethics up in place of money. Money will go to those who are of servitude. And servitude can be good or bad. It's our choice to make in it. And I choose to do it at a good level. And I want to show people that that's how it's possible. And I did that by taking by self-reflecting an emotional state, and then putting that emotional state into my ego using my will. And then it showed me and it reminded me, yo, dude, this is who you want to be. This is where you need to be next. You're in the country. You're in the right country. Now it's time for you to go out here and do this. And I hope that helped you. Like, I really hope that helped you. Like, I'm trying to pack a lot in here, and I was really going for under 30 minutes. Because once you get into real psychology, the study of yourself, but if you start getting into some of the metaphysics, quantum physics, and understanding of spirituality, you start seeing like this is a beautiful game we're playing here. Even the bad times are really good. We just have to understand what the bad times are trying to show us. And I think depression is one of the things that's trying to show us, hey, your emotional state is too stagnant. Let's, okay, where do you want to go now? You reach your goal. Where do you want to go now? And I think a lot of times, some of us, we've been taught to set goals inappropriate. And what I mean by that is our goals are vague. I want to be rich. I want to be a business person. I want my own business. That's not a goal. And the reason why it's not a goal, there's no depthness to it. Like, what picture, what type of business? How much money do you want to have? Do you want to, for some people, 10,000 US dollars can make them rich. Some people, they need a couple of millions. Like, how much do you really want? What do you want to do? How do you want to share your wealth? How do you want to enjoy your wealth? How are you going to be fulfilled through your wealth? And until you have those things outlined in your what you really want and desire, it's not really a goal. Um, and I'm gonna cut this short because I want to just babble on. Because like I've been seeing it like a lot of these different dating shows. A lot of people when they ask them, "What are you looking for in a partner?" Someone that's gonna love me. What does that mean? Love is just a four-letter word. What does that mean? Because clearly, if we all talk about our upbringings and some of the troubles we've all had in our lives, we would see love is different for a lot of different people, and most of us wouldn't agree how other people love others. And so, like, you really want to start becoming specific, decisive. Like, it needs to be a clear image. Because if you're not using the higher intuition of being able to recall a memory and then using your higher intuition of will, you're never going to start getting that ego activated and getting to the emotional state that you need. And so, if you have any questions about this, just shoot me in the message below. Let me know if you want me to give you more videos of this where I'm actually breaking down the psychoanalysis of what I'm doing for myself. If you want me to start doing lives on YouTube, let me know. I'll start doing lives here, talking about it, and just breaking you down through some of the things. Because to go from war veteran, being in the Iraq War, to where I am today, man, it took, it took a lot of work. All these grades are not here for nothing. It took a lot of work, man. Smiling was one of the last things I ever thought I would be able to do in life. And even through going through the roughest time of my life, of the sudden passing of my wife, I'm still able to put a smile on again. And it's refreshing. And so, let me know if you have any questions or comments down below. Make sure you follow me on TikTok at JasonChaney777. And also make sure you follow me at Instagram. It's also JasonChaney777. And if you haven't done so already, go to kick.com, kick.com, and follow me there at JasonChaney777. Also, that's where you'll find me on all social medias. And on Kick, it's going to be special because I actually do live videos there. I'm going to be doing live videos where I'm going around the town, traveling throughout Zambia. And also, I'm doing live videos as I'm going and searching for land to start building. First tiny home I want to build myself. And I'm going to actually document that for you. And just make sure you just follow me there. That way you can always be tuned in to everything that's going in. And all things that's Jason. And other than that, just remember this. I'm Jason. And success is simple once you know how.